Blake Shelton's first single, Austin, off his 2001 self-titled first album, peaked at number 1. The Oklahoma native would go on to become a country music ambassador, so it wouldn't be the last. He has received 9 Grammy nominations and 10 CMA awards. As he approaches his 50th birthday this June, his most recent endeavor, for recreational use only from the previous year, demonstrated that the 5-time Entertainer of the Year hasn't lost his touch. Texas, the album's song, shot to the top of the country music charts. Stay Country or Die Tryin' is now pursuing a similar course. The latter peaked at number 1 on Billboard's Country Airplay chart this week, the 30th time in Shelton's nearly 3-decade career that he has done so. Blake Shelton now sits in second place on the chart's all-time leaderboard as Stay Country or Die Tryin' jumps 2 spots on the January 17 ranking. The Ole Red singer is now behind only Kenny Chesney, who has 33 No.1 hits, surpassing Tim McGraw's 29 chart toppers. With 26 each, George Strait, Alan Jackson, and Luke Bryan are not far behind. Stay Country or Die Tryin' was written by Bo Bailey, Graham Bartham, Sam Ellis, and Drew Parker. Blake Shelton expanded his collection of fun tributes to rural living. The lyric is just a collection of almost phrases and things that are picturesque to growing up in that kind of backwoods and country, and that die-hard mentality. Last year, Shelton told American songwriter, "I know where I come from," it says. "We are somewhat stubborn and a touch too proud. That's just the way we are. And that's the person in the song, sort of. Being a hillbilly and not going to town for anything is a source of pride. There are times in the history of music that almost seem poetic, when the journey of a single artist, constructed piece by piece over decades, culminating in a turning point that changes the genre's narrative." Early in 2026, Blake Shelton achieved that milestone when he subtly but significantly overtook Tim McGraw, another legendary figure in country music. With his most recent song, Stay Country or Die Tryin', Shelton achieved his 30th No.1 hit on the Billboard Country Airplay chart, surpassing McGraw's 29 chart toppers and securing his status as a member of the country music elite. Not only for Shelton as a performer, but also for the history of contemporary country music in general, it's a momentous and humble occasion. A story of 2 legends from the country chart success in the country radio industry can seem like a combination of a skill test and a numbers game. Tim McGraw has long been one of the most important voices in the genre because of his extensive repertoire of poignant ballads and stadium-filling hits. McGraw established a legendary presence on country radio, influencing the soundtrack of many lives year after year, hit after hit. He set a high standard for length, consistency, and profound emotional resonance with his 29 No.1 singles. Blake Shelton followed. Shelton's career began with his 2001 debut hit, Austin, a heartfelt breakup ballad that instantly struck a chord with audiences all over the nation. Shelton began a nearly 3-decade ascension after that initial taste of radio stardom, combining a hard-earned craft, accessible narrative, and a personality that seemed to be crafted specifically for the sincere heart of country music. The way he achieved his recent milestone, through flexibility, sincere genuineness, and a discography that represents both personal development and unwavering devotion to the genre, is what makes it so captivating, not just the fact that he exceeded a number. Blake's radio marathon, from Oklahoma to the top. Shelley's career has been a journey rather than a race, from the sandy roads of his childhood in Oklahoma to arenas that have sold out from coast to coast. Austin, his first No.1 hit, became a pivotal song early in his career, receiving incredible airplay and catapulting him into the public eye. His voice seemed familiar, like an old buddy on the radio, and for admirers who first heard him, it was the start of something greater. The result was a constant flow of hits that dominated the charts and became staples of modern country music. Shelton's singles covered the emotional spectrum of American life, ranging from lively love songs to introspective ballads, from conventional music to contemporary radio production. While some songs focused on universal themes of love, loss, and introspection, others, like God's Country, highlighted tough pride and a connection to home. His music resonated with several generations throughout decades, which is uncommon in a field where sound and style are always changing. Shelton then released Stay Country or Die Tryin' in 2025, a song full of pride and rural images that seemed like a full-circle moment for the musician and reflected the same backwoods spirit that initially attracted listeners to his music. With this song, he broke McGraw's long-standing record and shot up the radio charts. Country music, the pulse of a style. You have to consider country radio in general to see why this milestone is so significant. Country radio was the lifeblood of the genre long before streaming algorithms and viral social media moments dominated the conversation. Every station became a family's morning companion or an evening soundtrack on wide roads, and songs were a part of listeners' everyday lives. Success on country radio has been the final indicator of influence for a lot of performers. More than just a statistic, 30 No. 1 hits on the country airplay chart are evidence of an artist's enduring popularity and ability to reach fans throughout generations and shifting trends. It's about changing without losing what first drew them in. In a world that is competitive and always changing, Shelton's accomplishment demonstrates a profound degree of constancy and relevancy over decades. Beyond statistics, Shelton's journey's emotional arc, because it mirrors emotional turning points in their own lives, country music fans find significance in Blake Shelton's milestone story. A generation was learning about country music in novel ways when Austin first made its way up the charts. Many people associate Blake's early songs with long drives with the windows down, hometown memories, heartbreaks, and first loves. His audience grew along with his career, and his songs started to reflect the intricacies of adult life. He evolved from a radio voice to a storyteller whose music reflected common experiences. Additionally, Shelton's steady presence on country radio became a source of comfort in and of itself when the music industry changed due to digital streaming, evolving listener habits, and the emergence of new voices. This milestone may feel more than simply a number because of this. A musical journal engraved onto the frequency of country radio stations nationwide. It's a journey that an artist and his audience share. The turning point and what's next. Shelton's 30th #1 single places him in exclusive company, trailing only Kenny Chesney's record of 33 country radio No. 1 hits. For many observers, however, this accomplishment is more about cementing his reputation as one of the defining voices of his time than it is about overthrowing legends. Shelton's milestone represents a somewhat different kind of narrative, one that combines the heartland ethos of modern country with crossover personality and cultural visibility. While McGraw's legacy is still unmistakable and ageless, Blake's captivating personality and television appearance have helped him become a well-known household figure outside of the music industry. Even so, his musical achievements continue to have the most impact where it counts, on radio stations. Fans respond. Honoring soundtrack moments. Fans have been rejoicing alongside Blake on social media, not just applauding the accomplishment, but also considering the significance of his music for them. The emotional reactions are the same, whether they come from country music acolytes who grew up with his early records, or from more recent admirers who learned about him via his later work or television. Appreciation. Many fans remember listening to his music throughout lengthy car rides, family get-togethers, happy, sad, and nostalgic times. For them, Shelton's achievement is a part of their own musical history, as well as a career high point. What this indicates for the future of country music now that Shelton has surpassed McGraw. The topic of discussion invariably shifts to the upcoming generation of musicians striving for comparable success. There are many voices in country music today, ranging from traditionalists who are maintaining the genre's origins to artists who are pushing the boundaries and adding new elements to the sound. In the midst of all of this, Shelton's accomplishment acts as a benchmark for aspiration and a reminder that durability and genuineness can still flourish in a music industry where fleeting trends rule. Milestones like Shelton's have influenced the ground that musicians like Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Lainey Wilson, and others are walking on as they continue to forge their own pathways. These accomplishments expand the cultural landscape of country music, reflecting on the past to predict the future. Ultimately, Blake Shelton's transformation from an up-and-coming Oklahoma artist to a legendary figure at the top of the charts reflects the development of country music as a whole, which is both traditional and adaptable. It's not about competitiveness when he surpasses Tim McGraw on the radio charts. It's about the power of songs that profoundly connect with listeners' everyday experiences, legacy, and community. It serves as a reminder that country music is constantly evolving. With each artist's contribution and each song that enters listeners' hearts, it develops and changes. Therefore, even though the historic figure of 30 No. 1 singles will go down in history books, the real narrative is that music unites us, supports us, and gives us a voice when we most need it. And throughout the past 25 years, millions of people have benefited from Blake Shelton's music.